New Thought Media Network proudly presents Lindsay Leimbach, Practicing Infinite Possibilities, Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And now, here's Lindsay.
Hey, welcome to PIP, Practicing Infinite Possibilities. Let me see if I get this banner up. There you go. I got the banner up. Woo! Happy Friday. So what are we going to talk about infinite possibilities today? We are going to talk about the holiday season. So it's the beginning of November, and we have basically 6-7 weeks of it. And it's a season that I really enjoy. And it's interesting because my perception of the holiday season and this time period is one of my happiest. However, when I talk to some people, they're like, oh no, it's the holiday season. And they have the polar opposite reaction. So we're going to dive into why do people have different reactions? Why do people see this from different points of view? How can we be mindful of this? And how can we bring down our stress, our worry, our anxiety, and have some tips to bring up more balance and joy? That's today's goal. It's going to be great. So let's see who's here real quick. Welcome, everyone. And Wayne, I am so happy to have you. And I know that Connie is here as well, and my mom and my dad, and a whole bunch of other people show up. Lori. So thank you for all being here with me. I have one of my friends, Josephina, who I just adore. She went on a trip and she sent me a heart. So I just want to show you that. So people are still collecting hearts. Isn't that awesome? So beautiful on the beach right there. Just that shell. It's there. Hearts are everywhere. There we go. Everywhere. Keep looking for them. Keep programming your RAS, your reticular activating system, which is the filter system within your brain that's telling you it's important. And when you wake up in the morning and you use the gratitude mind and you really lean into saying, I want to see hearts, I want to see good, your reticular activating system will say, okay, let's look for them. But if you're watch the news early in the morning, or you get on social media and you see negative things, then you're programming your own brain, reticular activating system, to say that's important. And that is what the brain will look for. And then you end up seeing so much. Here's a good quote I love from Marcus Aurelius, my Stoic emperor from about 150 AD. He was a Roman emperor, and he said, the mind is formed by what it feeds on. So they knew way back when, right, that everything I just said is true now, and now science proves it's true. Now we know it's the reticular activating system that you're feeding, and then your brain looks for it. And of course, if you go further back, the Buddha said that, and if you go further back, even Taoism, it says that. So it's true. Work with it. Know it's truth. All right. Oh, one last other thing I want to say about the holiday season. So I am wearing this holiday sweater. All right, I'm going to stand up so you can see it because it is a hoot. Is that hysterical? See that kitty cat and all that glitter? So I got this, and this is the beginning of me saying for tips for holidays, because I programmed my reticular activating system saying that I'm going to have fun during this holiday season. And one of my very best friends, or I've known very well and have known for over 20 years, is Reverend Kusla, who is a Buddhist monk that I've had on the show. And he lives down in Koreatown in an international meditation center. And he takes in stray cats. And he really helps them and feeds them and gets them neutered and then hopefully finds home for them. And he likes his cats. And we go out to lunch, once a month, once every other month. And so the next time I go out to lunch with him, I saw this. I got this, like, I think at a thrift store for like 50 cents, nothing. I'm going to wear this. And he's going to roll his eyes. He's going to be like, that's a crazy sweater. I'm going to say, Kuzla, I got it for you. And he'll be like, you can keep it. I know how he is, but he'll find it funny. And so that's what we want to do. Holiday season isn't about, oh God, the pressure of buying presents. It's about smiling and joy. I love that you see the word joy all the time in a lot of things. During the holiday season, I buy a lot of mugs and other things, paper that say joy on them. And I use them all year round because I want to program this concept of joy is part of innately in me, and I want to bring it out. And we have control of that. We have control of that. We have this beautiful temple, which I call Lindsay, or you call Wayne, or you call Sally, or Wendell, or Connie. And we want to be able to nurture this temple, to program it. Think of it as a computer, to see the good, to bring out the best. And then when sometimes the program goes off because of fear, that's the main reason why it goes off, is when you get triggered by fear. Then you go into getting tighter and getting narrow in your thinking. We're able to take a breath and come back to saying, no, I am not going to go into that fear mode. I'm going to go into the joy mode. What can I do with joy in my heart? What is there something I can do that's even beyond myself? And that's the one thing that gets emphasized so much during Thanksgiving, during November, is giving, being thankful. Really practice and use it. It has nothing. What joy can you bring out? What smile can you give? What time can you give? Can you drop a card for somebody? Can you just text someone out of the blue and say, I'm thinking about you? It means so much. Can you give the essence of your energy, of your insight, of love and kindness, and not get wrapped up into the fear that people feed us? There's always something to be scared of. I hate to say, in this world, if you buy into the news. So I don't want to buy into the news. Anyway, let me go down. I taught a class on cultivating mindfulness in the holiday season. And so I was actually figured out how to show you my PowerPoint on this show. This is exciting, infinite possibilities. So I'm going to show you. Let's see if I can. I know I can do this. Let me go here, and then let me go here, and let's see if it works. Oh, that's good. But let me make it better than that. Let's see if because I want to be little and I want the picture to be big. Let's see if this one's better. Much better. Much, much better. See, if you go around, you guys don't need to see me. So let's see the slides. So this is from, like I said, a class that I actually taught. It was a workshop, I guess is a better way of saying. So mindful living is the ability to be in the present moment. This allows you to see clearly. So look at this slide, and what you see is a jar right there, filled. The first one, I know there's other pictures of people having anxiety on top of it, but filled with dirt, and the water is muddy. And so we have to realize that when we put in all the obligations, it might be physical obligations, it might be financial obligations, it might be psychological, family obligations. It just goes on and on and on. And if you have all these obligations you think that the holiday season brings onto you, then you get really muddy water, or we'll say really unclear thinking. And what's so wonderful about new thought and understanding is that we get to choose, do we want our thinking to be muddied, or do we want it to be clear? And the answer is we want it to be clear. And so It's not by adding new stuff. It's about settling down the brain and taking that breath and calming it down. And when we start relaxing, when we start being in the present moment without judgment, it's not, if you look at the last jar in the series, it's the mud is still there, but it's at the bottom. When you are quiet and when you take that sacred pause, what it does is it allows everything to shift down to the bottom. It doesn't mean that the problems or the financial obligations or the family structure has gone away. But what it does mean is that you're able to see it in an objective way with clear thinking. That those problems don't end up hindering your view of what you can do. So we want that to happen. We want to be able to have clear thinking. And by doing that is that we have to understand how the brain works. And I say this a lot in my classes, and I'm going to say it, or in my PIPs, I'm going to say it again. You have to remember that we have a lower part of our brain that is always functioning. It's regulating our heartbeat, our digestion, so forth. A lot of times they call this your survival center or your reptilian brain. Then we have the middle part of our brain. The middle part of our brain is where you really got the lessons on how you view the world, and you've put it into the subconscious mind. It's your memories. In the middle part of the brain, when it comes to the holidays, you want to realize that you have a lot of programming going on in your brain that happened between 0 and 7, 0 and 13. On what do the holidays mean? What was your family structure? My husband and I had absolutely different holiday experiences. So, first of all, he grew up in a half Jewish, half Christian environment. So, his mother was Jewish and they didn't celebrate Christmas at all. And then his father practiced more Christianity. They had a tree, but there was no religion really. It was just presents under the tree. And so it was completely different than mine, where I grew up in a Protestant background where we would go to church at 12 o'clock on Christmas Eve and listen to carols. And then we'd all wake up and Santa would be there. And then I would go to my grandma's house and Santa somehow got to grandma's house too. So my Christmas experience was bigger than life, and his was real minimal. So when we came in and we had a family together, there was a conflict in that, because he's like, this is overwhelming. I was overwhelming him. And it wasn't that I meant to overwhelm him. It's just he had a different experience. So we have to realize that we have this knowledge, and that to understand that we have this internal programming from childhood that has a lot to do with how we view the holiday season, and really a lot less on what's happening on the holiday season right now, unless you reprogram yourself. So if the holiday season was extremely stressful for your parents, financially, people bickered a lot, so forth, you bring that resonance, you bring that emotion and thinking into it now. If people are always, you had to end up seeing your aunts and uncles that didn't get along and you just had to do it through obligation and stuff, then it was a tedious time. And you bring that filter system with you, unless you make an absolutely conscious effort to reprogram your childhood feelings of November and December. You get to choose, but you have to be aware, what was it like and what are you bringing into the mix? And then you have to decide, does it work for you or doesn't? And a lot of times it works for me because my parents and my family were so giving, and they volunteered and they gave a lot of money to charities during this time. That's all good stuff. But then I can also say, dude, I get overwhelmed in that I have to keep up with my parents' tradition, and my family tradition. And I don't. I can create my own. And this is a huge tip that we get into. I'm sorry, some of these PowerPoints are a little scattered to look at. And the reason being is because they really are PowerPoints. And so in the PowerPoints, the pictures would come up as I would hit the button. They don't all show up at one time. And when I show it this way, they all show up at one time. But that's okay. You get the point. You can see that we bring our thinking from survival into then our filter system of what we've already programmed. That's the yellow, up to the red, right? Up to the red part, which is your prefrontal cortex. And let's see, if I go like this, I want to just take this off. The tip to the higher thinking is the prefrontal cortex is up here. This is where compassion, empathy, right? The able to observe, the able to reprogramming. This is where it starts. So if we want to have a different experience than we've had in the past, then we need to reprogram consciously by making a conscious choice to do something different, not judge it. That's the mindfulness, to be aware of how we're feeling, hold how we're feeling the holiday season, hold it. I'm trying to see. I didn't bring my little Santa over here, but hold the holiday season and say, is it working for me? Don't be mad at it. Just know, is it there? Is it working for me? And if it's not working for me, then making and realizing you have the choice to do it differently. You do. And that is when you're activating this higher level of thinking. And when you're activating the higher level of thinking, then it goes back and it goes into programming. And then the following year, it can be so much easier. So much easier. Oh, Kevin is saying hi to me. Thank you so much, Kevin. And Trudy's here. Oh, gosh, it's so good to see you guys. Thank you for dropping in. It's always nice to know that my friends are out there supporting me as I do these talks, because I certainly do love them, but I don't know sometimes who's out there. All right, let's see. So I'm going to go back to this. Look at this. I'm learning how to do this PowerPoint thing. This is great. And so now we know that we can do the programming. Now this slide is really small and it says deep belly breathing. And I have that in my tips for the holiday season, because people say, Lindsay, I don't know. When I get around my sister, man, my anxiety goes up. Or when I get into the mall, I think I'm going to be judged the whole time, on what to give. And Billy Bob makes $10,000 more a month than I do, and comes in and then gives my kids these outrageous presents, and then I feel minimalized and I feel like, oh. So there's lots of reasons you can see why people would have different anxieties during the holiday season. And what we want to do is, when I say deep belly breathing, that's where you actually take a deep breath and you allow it go all the way into your diaphragm and fill your lungs up with really positive oxygen, and allow your stomach to roll out. This is the time where you don't want to keep your stomach in, because tuck it in. But that's very restricting to the lungs. So we want to let our stomach roll out so that we make space for this deep belly breathing. And by doing that, or they call it diaphragm breathing, we're activating our sympathetic nervous system, which is that relaxed state. And by doing that, you're like, so I'm relaxing. What does that mean? It means that you're getting out of that thinking inside your head of stress and anxiety that make you just tunnel vision and get into that whirlwind and that loop, and allows you to relax and let the prefrontal cortex of your brain to be activated, and it connects in with your heart. And we want to do that heart-centered. What is good for me and what is good for others? Do no harm to me and do no harm to others. To come into having kindness counts. Kindness counts. How can I see this from a different point of view? Sometimes people are very materialistic, and when it comes to the holiday season, or any season, and they might do strange things with presents. Do that. And you know what? Don't take it personally. 4 agreements. Activate it right now. 4 agreements. Don't take it personally. How other people are handling the holiday season says so much more about their middle brain how they're programmed, their insecurities and their fears. And then when you see someone who's really in a joyful manner of the holiday season and all the times, what you're really going to notice is that they actually keep it simple, and they do things from their heart, and they're doing it because they care and because they love and that they're kindness. They don't feel like this is a competition. As the Dalai Lama said, the competition steals the joy out of your life. So let go of competition. And if someone else has more money and is able to buy someone else a better gift, then just be thankful that they're living out the life they need, and don't take it personally. If you can drop the feeling that everything is done personally, even if for some reason you feel it's passive aggressive, because then you could say, well, that is a personal attack. Doesn't matter. Because if they're doing something passive aggressively, it shows their insecurity and their fears. Don't take it personally as a judgment on you. It's saying much more about them. So that's the way we want to go. We want to go into the flow of the holiday season, not the stress. And we already know that we have expectations. We all do. Where does the expectations come from? It comes from your middle part of your brain. It comes from your childhood. Those are your expectations, but we can't be rigid with expectations. I'd rather say what we do for the holiday season is we have intentions. And I had a great conversation with someone yesterday about the difference between intentions and goals. She said to me, I'm disappointed because I didn't live into my intentions. And she was talking about a trip she went on. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, she did live into her intentions. She nailed her intentions. Her intentions was to have a good time with her family. Her intentions was to be kind. Her intentions was to go with the flow. She did all that. She had some goals, like to see certain things or buy certain things, and she didn't achieve the goals. So she said, I didn't make my intentions. No, what she did is she totally nailed her intentions. Her feelings and how she behaved was with kindness and love and flexibility and generosity. That is off the chart check. Now, she had some goals that she didn't achieve, but those are expectations, and we have to be careful about that. Goals are good lights to go for, but we want to do it with flexibility. Sometimes we don't achieve our goals. That's okay, because if we're executing our intentions, meaning that we're coming to the picture, coming to the holiday, coming to the vacation with love and kindness and generosity, then however happens with the goals, that's okay. That's called being in the flow. So you didn't achieve this goal, but this happened instead. I just went on a vacation with my son up to San Simeon to see Hertz Castle. And I had a goal that we were going to go on a tour on a Saturday. The last tour was at 3:20. He didn't calculate his time right and wasn't going to get there until 3:15. He told me this at 1:45. So then I realized that goal needs to be let go. My intention was to have a fabulous time with my son. My intention was to spend time with my son. My intention definitely was not to belittle or shame or guilt my son at all. I got to spend 24 hours with him. He's a grown adult and I don't get to see him very much. So making the last tour, even though that was a goal that I've been looking forward to for a whole month, it didn't need to happen. I could still make my intentions, just not that goal. I could let that go. That's what we need to do when it comes to handling the holiday season. What are your intentions of this holiday season? Think about that. Not what are your goals, but what is the intentions? How are you? Joy? How are you going to rise into it? How are you going to come into it? With joy, kindness, generosity, resilience, flexibility, happy, love. Those are good intentions. Can you execute those intentions and hold those intentions even if you don't get the joy? So Bertha, your sister, was meant to bring the mashed potatoes, but instead she brought mac and cheese. And that is not the family tradition. And you are pissed. Okay. Expectations, goals of what it's meant to look like, family of the past goes into the mind right there. We need to recognize that. You feel that emotion that she being passive aggressive, she's undermining it because it's the first time I've done the holiday dinner and you usually have it at her house. Maybe so. But now let's go into your intentions. What are your intentions? Kindness, love, you know, the white light of the universe. Here, I just want you. Wayne always puts up such great things. White light of the universe. Yes, is your intention is to breathe the white light of the universe, just like that. So if that is true, my intentions are that, can I let go of that goal or that expectation and be like, oh, thank you. And just be grateful. And don't carry and swallow the poison of the passive aggressiveness. So let's also say there's the hustle and the bustle going on, right, of the holiday season. People are on the move and there's lights and there's parties and there's really good food and fattening food. Okay, so your intention is to be healthy and to be mindful of your body during the holiday season. So my intention is to be healthy. It doesn't mean that my goal is that I'm never going to eat some sugar, but can I do it in moderation? Also, can I make sure that I get the right amount of sleep? Can I realize that there's a lot of triggers around me, lights, social media, parties that I might not be invited to, wish that I was invited to. These are all expectations and triggers that can activate that filter system of negativity. You want to be able to say, oh, okay, I'm disappointed that I wasn't invited to the party, but can my intention still be wish them well? It doesn't matter. Don't take it personally. I know it feels personal, but you're making an agreement with yourself to take it personally. And the only person that has the capability to see the agreements in your thought patterns is you. And the person who has control to bring forth the good, the light, and the love is you or me. So I am going to London. So excited. I leave in a week from Sunday and I'm going with my parents. We have goals. We have some things, some expectations. We're going to have Thanksgiving together. We already have reservations there. We're going to see my son. We're going to go to some plays. We're going to go to Harrods. Yes, we're going to eat really good food. That is some goals. But you know what? If those change, it doesn't mean that I'm going to have a bad time, because my expectations is I'm going to have quality time with my parents. What a treasure to be with my family. My mom and my dad were staying in an apartment together for a whole week. Wow. This is a very lucky time. So my intentions is to love my parents, to dote on my parents, to spend time, even if it's just us reading a book in the same room. My intentions is to be kind, to be healthy, to be helpful, to be flexible. My goals is to go and see like the Tower of London with them. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't ruin the trip, because my intentions is loving my family and loving my son, who will be visiting too. So this is what we have to do, not only during the holiday season, right? Oh, my intentions is joy and peace. Yeah, peace of heart. Wayne says strength, purity, and peace of heart. Amen. Those are my intentions. They're my feeling tones. I get to bring, and when my feeling tones start shifting because I'm frustrated about something, then I need to know that my middle brain is being activated, that I get to hold that feeling no matter what it is, allow it to be what it is, don't judge it, don't take it personally, and then know that I get to choose where my thoughts and feelings go next. And if I feel very hurt, then I need to take that belly breath and I need to move on. And then I need to switch the channel from feeling sorry for myself or feeling frustrated. Know that I have the superpower, the free will that God gave me to choose something different. And when you get really stuck during the holiday season and you feel sorry for yourself, I always say the best thing is then do something for someone else. Get out of your ego and help someone else. There's always someone else out there that would love to have support and kindness. As Wayne says, the circle of love ever expanding. Let that be our intention. Let that be our mantra. Thank you for sharing that, Wayne. So I am going to be the best of PIP, Practicing Infinite Possibilities, for the rest of November and December. I might pop in and do another live, but I don't want to commit to that because my intention is that I'm going to have time and effort to do all these traveling and be with my friends and be with my family during this time. So I will still be PIP, but it's going to be the best of, and then I'll be back in the beginning of January. Now, I might end up doing a live sometime in it as well. So I don't want to say that'll never happen, but I'm very thankful the New Thought Media Network for being able to do the programming and being the support while I am taking a small hiatus. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me, feel free to always get in touch with me through my web channel. Let's see, I put it way up here, I think, and maybe not. I don't know. I can't find it. Centeredmoment.com, centeredmoment, singular.com, or just message me through Facebook or Instagram. You always can get in touch with me then. I want to thank everyone. This is my 62nd episode. And so obviously I've been doing this for way more than a year. And I just want to thank everyone for being so supportive in that. All my love. Happy holidays. I won't see you next week because you all know that I'm off to Europe and that's exciting. So happy Thanksgiving. Make sure that you take the joy and the humor of this time period and set your intentions and make them your mantras and make them your prayers, not just for you, but for the world. The world needs your joyous light, and lots of people would love your support. Know that you can be helpful to someone, somewhere. Love to you all. Bye.